Okay, well, we got everything set back up. Now that we got the cap kit installed in the G07 monitor, I now have hooked the Teamplay multi-game back up, and let's see if we can do a little tweaking on the adjustments to make the color better, to line up the picture on the monitor better. It's not bad the way it sits right now. I guess we could put it in test mode. I believe this game has some patterns. If you can see, like right here, there's a lot of space on the bottom right here. And because this is a vertical game, this is actually horizontal from top to bottom. Vertical is from side to side because the monitor is rotated. So this would be the width coil adjustment to make the picture widen, and then the G07 has pins and a wire that you put from one point to another to shift the image to the right or to the left. But in my past experience with the G07, it doesn't shift all that much. So this is an awful lot of space. But we might be able to shift it down. The top looks like it's right up at the top edge. So if we were to use the width coil to widen it up, the top would probably go off the end here. The bottom would go down some, but we'd have to move the jumper to try to get it down to, which is really the left-hand side of the screen. I know it's the bottom here, but if you were to rotate this in a standard picture, you know, this would be the right side, this would be the left side, this would be the top, this would be the bottom. So we have to shift the horizontal to the right to get it to come down here. First, let's put it in a test pattern. And let's see, adjustments. No, that's not what we want. We want a diagnostics. Yeah, there we go. Diagnostics, monitor align. Okay. Colors are looking good. We still have this black space on the bottom of the screen. The top is black and it's all the way at the top edge, so it's basically just like it was. The width here, which is actually the vertical size, we could probably adjust that. I believe the G07, let's see. The controls on a G07 is vertical hold, vertical linearity, vertical height, and horizontal frequency. The these pins that I'm telling you are for the horizontal centering tabs, they call them, and vertical centering tabs. And you got 3 posts. So one was shifted one way, you got the center position, and then shift it the other way. So we can try those and see if it'll shift the picture any. Let's see, I think this has a crosshatch pattern on it. Well, not crosshatch, but it's got the dots. So yeah, we can, the top looks pretty good, but we need to shift it down just a little bit and then use the width coil to widen it some, and we can stretch the height a little bit. And the linearity is a little bit off because you got a little bit more space between the dots on this side and they're closer together on this side. So Let's see if we can do a little adjusting here. All right, let's start with the vertical linearity and see if we can make the spacing a little more even. And it's going to be a little tricky here, but let me see if I can get around here. Vertical linearity is the second one. Okay, right here. Okay, and what it's doing, it's not bringing these out farther, it's bringing these in. All right, let's leave that right there, and let's adjust the vertical height, which is a little dark here. Hard to see. I think it's this one right here. Okay. I think that got that, maybe just a hair too much. And I think brightness needs to be cut down just a hair. Okay, now we need to shift the picture down. I've seen Mike on his videos do this with the monitor running, but I'm not that brave, so I'm going to cut it off and move the jumpers. But what we need to do is once I cut it off and then make the adjustment, turn it back on, I want to be able to tell if we've really made a change or how much of a change. So what I like to do is I'll take a little piece of masking tape and I'll put it right here on the bottom edge of the dots. And that way, if we shift it up, we'll know we went up, or if we shift it down, we know we went down. We can also do the same thing on the top edge, because right now we're only going to shift the horizontal. So let's put a piece of tape. And get it up here and get it lined. Okay. That way we'll be able to tell which way we shift the picture and there'll be no question about it. So let me cut it off. And we want the horizontal, so that's the one closest to the neck board. And let's see where that one is. That one is already in the, if you're looking at the back of the monitor and you got your 3 pins, it's already on the one to the far left on the back side, so it's not in the center. So let's go ahead and put it in the one on the far right, because that'll be our maximum amount of movement. That way we can see what we got to work with here. Okay, it looks like it's on. All right, let's turn it back on and see if the picture shifted. And yep, it sure did. Well, let's put it back on the same crosshatch. It appears it may have, but then again, maybe not. Let's put it back into test mode. Go down to diagnostics, monitor align. Okay. Well, it shifted the bottom down in the right direction, almost to the second line, but not quite. So it maybe shifted it a ½ inch at the most. And up here it didn't hardly shift it at all, so it's still kind of right on the line. It shifted it down a little bit. Okay, it might be a ½ inch. Okay, next thing we can do now, since we did shift it down a little bit, let's see if we can adjust the horizontal width coil and see if we can expand it out. That'll probably bring it up and down. So if we can bring this up to the top and bring this down a little farther, we might be close enough. Again, I'm not brave enough. I'm going to cut it off. And I already got a adjustment tool in there. Now I don't remember which way is going to be which. So we're going to have to experiment. So I'm just going to bring it up. I could have moved the tape, I guess. All right, I moved it up a little bit. Let's turn it back on and see if there's any difference. Yeah, that's a big difference. All right, let's put it back in a test mode. Let's see. Back down to diagnostic, monitor align. Okay, now that's got it down so that the second row of dots is below our top edge, and now the top line is above the edge of the tape we put on there. That might be about as far as we want to take it. I wonder if that's far enough though. All right, let's exit and see what the games look like. Okay, so you can see it's too far because the it's cut it off the top of the zeros on the score. Now when it goes into that screen, it drops down just a little bit. So let's let it cycle through to another game and we'll see what each one looks like. We may have to bring it back in a little bit. There's another option. They make a pot replacement kit that removes those what do you call them, the horizontal centering and the vertical centering tabs, and adds 2 pots. So you actually have a pot to where you can adjust the vertical and the horizontal. I have that kit. I haven't installed it, but we could install it and see if that helps us out any. But we may not need it. This may be good enough. Okay. Also, I think our horizontal frequency will let us move the horizontal a little bit. So we can try that too. All right, well, that definitely don't look bad. The score right here is down far enough. This, of course, Missile Command, which is really a horizontal game, but to get it on this multi-game, they made it a vertical game, which is a little weird, but if it works, I guess it works. Okay, like I say, this is the one that is a little bit off the top edge when it's in the attract mode. The color's looking good. Of course, after we check this out, we got the Capcom Bowling I'm going to put on here, and we'll see what that looks like, because we have to take that in consideration too, since we're going to put it in this one cabinet with this monitor. Okay, let's go bowling. The pins are almost cut off a little bit, so I think we can shrink it back down just a little bit. All right, let me cut it off, and we'll screw that width coil back in a few turns. Okay, let's try that. I don't want to go too far with it. Okay, now we can see a little line at the top where the picture stops, and we got spare space there. It's still kind of close up that top. Maybe the yoke is twisted just a little bit, but that's good enough for me. I think we can deal with that. Let's put it back in test mode. Go down to diagnostics, monitor line. All right, like I said, let's try the horizontal frequency and just see if that will shift it down just a little bit. Horizontal frequency is all the way on the right, looking at it from the back. I think that's it. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there. We did shift it down just a little bit more. All right. Let's take a tape off. All right, let's get it out of diagnostics. All right, so we got a little line at the top and we've got a little more of a line at the bottom, but all in all, I think that's pretty good. The colors look good. I don't think we need to touch the colors. Maybe a little more green. I don't know. Let's see what the white looks like. I think the white was looking bright enough. We can put the color bars back up here. Okay, now the bowling has a line at the top, so actually it looks a little wide right here. So we can do our vertical size or linearity. Let's see. Let's do the vertical height. Alright, I moved it in just a little bit. That looks pretty well centered. You got about the same amount of gap here that you got down at the bottom, so I think we're going to be good. Yeah, I like that. There's one thing about the G07, when it's right, it's a pretty stable monitor. Okay, yeah, that looks good, about even edges all the way around. I wanted to cycle back to the bowling game so we can see how the words are if I moved them over far enough up at the top here, where it says "Let's Go Bowling." Okay, looks like it's got a little curl. I guess that's... would that be... what would that be? Horizontal or vertical? Maybe horizontal. So maybe we need to adjust the horizontal a little bit. All right, let's get back around to that again. Or can I start a game? Let me try starting a game. Put in a credit. Okay, it's got that curl right there. Let's see if we can get that curl out. There we go. Okay, and I got the curl out, but that's close to the top, but that's not bad. All right, let's... okay, yeah, that looks good. I missed it. Okay, well, I think we got it adjusted good enough for the Teamplay game. Now let's put the Capcom Bowling on and see what that looks like. All right, here we go. It's close up at the top too, but looks like we got a full screen. We've got a little bit on both sides, which is okay. Might even have to wind up shrinking it a little bit once we put it back in the cabinet and we get the monitor bezel surround on it. And it's possible we might have to bring it down a little more, but no, I think that's looking pretty good right there. Let me add a credit. And as you can see, we have no bowling pin sound. And I believe that's because the -5 is not wired up to this Teamplay harness, because the Teamplay game doesn't use -5. So we're going to take care of that in the next video. Yeah, we'll get that sound back. Plus, we're gonna fix the battery on here. The battery is dead, so we're gonna replace the battery with a corn cell battery, and we're gonna fix the -5 volt. So, okay, well, I think this turned out to be a success. Of course, we may have to, once we get it in the cabinet, we may have to do a little more work to it. I'm wondering how the colors are. A lot of these I look online, this area here is blue, but this looks gray. I wonder if the blue needs to be turned up a little more. Let's see. I think I can put this in test mode, although it's real weird. Let me see if I can figure it out. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird configuration of how to put this thing in test mode. Huh. Maybe it can't be a game playing at the time. Let me turn it back on. That's probably what it is. There we go. All right. Video test. Okay, that's colors. Yeah, and the cross hatch here, the top line is off the screen. Well, we could bring that down a little bit, I guess. I wish it would stop on the colors though. All right, let's see. Turn the width coil, maybe one turn. All right, let's try that. When you're trying to do two different type games, the resolutions can vary between the games, so the alignment is going to be different on some games. That's the problem you have when you try to make a multi-jammer cabinet using separate boards and a switcher. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, all right. Put it back in test mode. Use trackball to select. Okay, it ain't working for some reason. Huh. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, video test. Well, it doesn't seem to change it much, did it? Well, it still may be okay if the game looks okay. And the game looks fine. I'm wondering, yeah, it could probably be down a little more. But does that really matter? Okay. Let me do the horizontal frequency. I know that's gonna cause the curve, but let's just see what's on that end of the screen. See what we're missing. Yeah, still don't go down all the way. Okay, well, I think I'm good with this right now. We'll go ahead and take care of the board, the Capcom Bowling board, in the next video, and fix the -5 volts and put a memory battery on it, and we'll get that done. In the meantime, let me know what you think. Have you ever done this G07 vertical horizontal centering pot mod? I have one right here. Will this mod let me move the horizontal and vertical center more than those jumper pins will? If so, then maybe we'll go ahead and put this kit on this monitor and see if it makes it more adjustable. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about that? So for now, we're going to let it go like it is. And like I say, I'm going to work on the Capcom Bowling next. So if you're interested in that, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification so you'll know when I release the video. And yeah, this is going to do it for this video. It's just been another arcade fix. Have you had your arcade fix today?